everyone hear me? Good? Guys, I just want to, first things foremost is that my first time being a commanding officer, and I've been a captain since April 2020 is when I got promoted to captain. Just a little background, I spoke a little bit at the Lunar New Year, where I met some familiar faces the other day, but just a background on myself, I know a couple people said that I have a good background with Brooklyn South. So I became a police officer in 2007. I actually attended Hunter College. I'm sure everyone knows Hunter College here in New York City.
Yep.
I went there on a full scholarship, played basketball, ran track, had good grades, studied. And my dad is retired police officer. He worked in the 123 Precinct in Staten Island, New York. When I got out of college, I became a cadet for 1 full year. And I said, this isn't for me. I told my dad, I came home, I said, I'm not going to be a police officer. I'm going to do something better in life. That's the way I thought back then. When you're young, you think differently. So I actually signed up, took the law school exam, got into law school, was supposed to attend Penn State in Pennsylvania. I didn't know at the moment if I wanted to go, and my dad gave me good advice. He's a good man with money, and said, if you don't want to be $50,000 in debt in your first year, join the police department, become a police officer, see how you like it, and then defer your acceptance into Penn State for a year, and then go back to law school if you're still into it. So I deferred it for a year, went straight into the police academy right after I graduated from Hunter in July 2007. Went in for a year, got out of the academy, did foot post in the 70 Precinct where I just was there for the last 2 years, and I ended up loving it. I loved it. I loved working with the community. Obviously back in 2007, things were different back then. From there, I became a police officer in Staten Island, went to the 122 Precinct, where I'm from, and worked over there for about 4 years. Studied really hard for the sergeant exam, was in one of the first classes, got promoted to sergeant. That's when my career began officially in Brooklyn South. I came to Brooklyn South where I worked in PSA 1 housing, which covers about 6 or 7 different Brooklyn South commands. I covered the 60, 61, I covered the 63, the 69, the 76, and the 78, which is close to home over here in the 72, which is where I really became familiar with Brooklyn South in those 5 years I was there. From there, got promoted to lieutenant, around my 9th year, and went to your neighboring command, the 68 Precinct, where I worked under Inspector Haywood and Inspector Conwell, if anyone knows them here. I know a couple people are good friends with them, great guys. I was there admin lieutenant for about 4 years, doing majority of the captain's work, because at the command at the time, they didn't have an executive officer. I loved the job, and I loved the stuff I was doing, and the administrative and the field part of it. Took the captain exam, and then I got promoted to captain during the COVID period, April 2020. Started out working in the 6-1 with Inspector Saliba. If anyone knows him over here, another great guy. Learned a lot from him in those 7 months. And then I went to the 70 Precinct, where I did about 2 years there. Worked with 3 different COs there, all great people. And started my first work here in the 72 Precinct. My end conclusion of where I started from this conversation to now is that taking over the 7-2, the support and the appreciation, the gratitude that I'm getting for the community, I never thought I would have walked into this in the matter of my first or second or third day in the 7-2. So with that, I just want to say thank you to you guys, and for everyone, a round of applause for you guys. The support I'm feeling. I went from not thinking I was ever going to be a police officer to feeling where I am today. When I called my dad when I was on vacation last week and said, I'm finally a commanding officer, you know, from where he came from. It's a big deal in our family. I know he couldn't be more proud of me now, and that's the best acceptance of it all. My family, and then getting the support that I'm feeling from the community. It's, you know, it's something that you can never feel unless you're standing up there yourself and feeling it. So I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I greatly accept, like, everyone being here from all different communities. From Sunday, I got off the plane. I was in Turks and Caicos last week. Don't be jealous. I was in Turks and Caicos. The minute I found out, I told my wife a month ago, I said, I'm going to find out when we're on the way on that vacation. For some reason, I have a strong feeling it's going to happen that week when I'm supposed to be relaxing. And then Wednesday, I get back to the room, and it's like, boom, boom, congrats, 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 congrats. 50, 70 text messages sending me congrats. Great feeling, but then what are you thinking of? Damn, I wish I was at work. So I had to relax myself to enjoy my last 3 days there. I got off the plane on Saturday night, and then I told these guys, I got to meet up with you guys on Sunday. I got to make it over to the event, and just, the first thing that comes important to me is meeting the community. Right away, community is number one. If I don't have your support, then I have nothing. And the same thing after that, cops. The relationship between the cops and the community. I think I said this in one of my interviews. and I want my cops to be knowing who you are, not just figures of their imagination or hearing their names. When they're standing on the corner, I said this in my interviews, now we got FTU. We're not talking about the old impact back in 2007 when I was there. We're talking about the new and improvised FTU. That means they're supposed to be doing their job, but if they're on that corner on 54th and 5th and they're patrolling that corridor, I want to make sure they pop in at the bodega, the bakery, those places. They need to know who's working in there and do they have any conditions? Do they need any help on that corner? Not just standing there and being a statue or just paying attention to what's going on in front of them. Knowing what's going on behind them in the stores is just as important as well, and that's where you guys come into play. And we need that. The cops and community relationship with all different communities of all different sectors, Adam Boy, Charlie, David, we all need to be working as one, and that's the way I would like to do things from now going further for my whole tenure here. I want everyone to feel included with whatever build the blocks, the community council meetings, whatever events we do and my guys set up, I would hope and like everyone to be part of it. Not just one sector, one group, one this, everyone equally, and that includes my police officers as well. But other than that, I just want to say, I guess I said a lot, but thank you for having me. I met a bunch of people in the last few days, and I greatly appreciate the love and support that I've been feeling. And just looking forward to meeting more and going further from here. Wepa?